Robert Odekirk presiding.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Hernandez Brewer.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First on the agenda is a presentation by Waste Management at Your Door Electronics and Household Hazardous Waste Recycling Program.
Hi, Mayor and City Council. Mike Morley is going to be coming up in a moment, and then when he is through, I'm also going to discuss another option that we have for electronics recycling. Mike Morley is here along with Paul Schlick from At Your Door, and Mike is going to give us a presentation about the At Your Door program, which includes electronic recycling and hazardous waste recycling.
Thank you, Meg, and members of the City Council. I'm very pleased to be here tonight to discuss the At Your Door Special Collection Program. We've launched this program in 3 communities in Will County right now, and Meg asked me to come tonight and explain kind of the details of the program to the City Council. So I'll begin by just saying that the program was started in California about 20 years ago, 1995. The At Your Door program is in many communities right now, and the At Your Door program really specializes in many of these items that aren't included in your traditional refuse or recycling program. And it really is a recycling program. It's an enhancement to your recycling program because it covers those items that we don't necessarily want in the trash or can have in the trash, and also covers those items that really don't belong in the recycling container either. The program really is dedicated towards, it's very focused on household hazardous waste. That's really where it started. And then kind of grew into the electronics field as more states banned those items from landfills. So At Your Door is very convenient in terms of it literally comes to your home and takes these items. If you've ever used a program like to donate home goods like Vietnam veterans or the Salvation Army, AMVETS, that's a good analogy as to how At Your Door works. So when you have these items, you contact At Your Door, you package them up, and they come and collect them from your house. That's it. It's very convenient. The resident more or less makes the determination as to when they want to get rid of these items. There's no limits per se on how many times you can use the program, and there's no reason to be at a particular place at a specific time to take these materials or to get rid of them. So this is a list of the items that we typically accept for collection with At Your Door. It includes the electronics, which has become a major issue lately. And the electronics are not just limited to those items that have been banned by the state of Illinois. It's much more expansive than that. The program also takes medical sharps. This has become an issue too, as we want to keep the medical sharps, especially out of the recycling stream, but if residents put it in a rigid container, that will be collected. It takes difficult to recycle items like automotive batteries, garden chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, household chemicals, bleach, ammonia, cleaners, rust removers. Another feature of At Your Door is the paint collection. It takes both latex and oil-based paints, strippers, thinners, stains. The program also includes swimming pool chemicals, chlorines, acids that may be associated with pool maintenance and upkeep, and batteries and mercury items. So just your AA, AAA batteries, but also the CFL bulbs, which typically contain mercury. It also includes thermometers and thermostats. With At Your Door, it's really a total solution for these items that typically residents will store for a long period of time. Oftentimes, people know that they don't need or can't throw these items away, so they'll hold on to it. They'll wait until there's an event, and then if they remember the event or they can get to the event, they'll take advantage of it. But At Your Door takes these items, collects them, sorts them, and gets them to the right vendor, the right disposal facility or recycling facility. And nationwide, about 85%, Paul, of the items that are collected are in fact recycled. So when a community has At Your Door, the participant will contact At Your Door either via phone, via email, or going to the website. When they talk to the representatives at Your Door, they'll run through the items that the resident wants collected. Once that's established, they will be sent a kit. And Meg, if you want to, if anybody wants an example of the kit, we have some here. But they're sent a collection kit. The collection kit has the pickup date. When the resident gets the kit, they put their household chemicals in the bag, and they put their electronics next to the bag, and then they just need to leave it at their door or outside their garage. It's very simple. It's very convenient. And then the materials are then taken back to our facility where they're stored. Everything's cataloged for reporting purposes. And then the materials that's it. There is a collection card in each kit so that the residents, if they so choose, can fill that card out and send it back. Those survey cards go back to the municipality. But what you have in front of you is just how the At Your Door program interfaces with residents that contacted online. But one of those three ways is how the resident more or less activates the collection cycle. Let me go back here. So as I said, the collection kit includes this heavy-duty bag. There are labels that are also included in the bag so that residents with, anything that they don't have, or that the label fell off, or they're just not sure, they used another container to put it in. They can just simply label those, so that's very convenient. There's a zip tie to kind of tie it up, so when the collection company comes, and then this survey card. And the survey card goes back to the municipality. It does not go back to At Your Door. We want the municipality to know exactly what the resident felt about the program. And so there's no, there's no middleman in terms of processing that feedback. So in terms of the customer service, most of these survey cards, most of the surveys that we do get back rate the services as either excellent or very good. If there are problems, the customer service center will resolve those, and we'll get those items picked up. This, again, is really a complement to the recycling program because of the number of items that are ultimately recycled. It gives residents access to to a very convenient disposal option. Nearly all of these materials are diverted from the landfill, and it does enhance the recycling goals of a community. One particular community that I want to share with you is Plainfield. Plainfield activated the program. Meg, if you want to pass those out. We started talking to Plainfield about a year ago on the program. What they did was they, to determine whether or not there was a demand or need for the service, they did a very brief online survey on their website. They got about 900 responses back. 90% of those responses were positive, that the community was interested in a program to conveniently pick up these items. We started the program in May of this year, 2016, and just May through August, we've collected over 84,000 pounds of paint, televisions, motor oil, batteries, all the items that I had listed earlier that the program will collect. At the same period of time, we collected over 648 TVs, and that seems to be the big challenge right now, especially CRTV TVs. And some of these TVs weigh in excess of 200 pounds, but again, it was picked up at their home. And the survey results coming back from Plainfield are very positive. So the village is so far at least getting reinforcement that they made a good decision. I just passed out this handout. The first page is a list of the items when the resident gets the kit as to what happens next, what chemicals and items are involved. The next page is a report, and I think this is one of the most impressive parts about At Your Door. They categorize everything that they pick up. So there is a summary report that just kind of paints a high level. This is what was picked up. This is what was collected. This is how many pounds were picked up. So this report that I've included in this handout is from September of this year, and in just 1 month, there was 22,000 pounds of material was collected. If you look at page 3 of that report, 90% of it was recycled. And then on the last page of the detailed report, there is a detailed summary, and that itemizes by address what was picked up at each address. So if you're looking at the resident at 13241 Meadow Lane, that's everything we picked up at that particular location on that date. And the municipality gets those reports on a monthly basis. This is just a summary of who we're picking up right now, as well as some other communities that we've got scheduled to start the program. And interest in this program is growing because the demand is there and it is convenient. Paul, do you have anything to add? Or
just real quick, I'm from Southern California. I'm the sales manager for the program.
Can you step to the microphone, please, so you hear you on TV?
Yeah, sure. My name is Paul Schleck. I'm the sales manager for the program. This was started, like Mike said, back in 1995, and it became part of Waste Management January 1st of 2011. So it's about 6 years part of Waste Management. We've collected, I think we've had about 475,000 collections. So it's a pretty well-established program. We currently have about 160 cities under contract. As Mike said, Chicago's kind of our hot market, and quite frankly, it was driven by the e-waste situation. But really, I was here more just to answer any questions anybody has of specifics or anything. The key is that the kit is actually mailed to the resident. So once they get that, they get the instruction sheet, and that kind of jogs their memory. They have more than what they called initially for. So we try to get that. We try to get it all at one time. But one of the keys is, you don't use a program weekly. You might use it once every 6 years. The stuff's been sitting there for 10, 12 years. So that's why it's so effective. We've had the city of Denver since 1996. I think we have 268,000 households under contract. We've made about 200,000 collections there. So in essence, we've served the city, but it's taken 20 years to do it. So that's kind of the outline of the program. But really, more than anything, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. More on a national level, if you have anything.
How about a timing? So I go online and give them my address, I take it, and then how quick Do I get the mail?
The kit's mailed the next day, but it is mailed regular U.S. mail, so we say, 3 to 5 days. The typical turnaround time is between 2.5 and 3 weeks, and that's the ideal time. We've had a few communities that say, hey, we want it picked up within 5 days. We end up showing up and we have 50% no wait stops. We get there and it's not out. Because what happens is you'll get the kit, you'll get the instruction sheet, you'll go down your basement, then you'll go out to your garage, and before long, you're not even ready in 2 weeks. So to answer your question, it's about a 2.5 to 3 week turnaround. So if you call July 1st, you have the kit by about July 5th, July 6th. Before you hang the phone up, you know your collection date. It's not a get. We say the kit's going out today. You'll have the kit in 4 to 5 days. You're scheduled for Monday, July the 21st, to have your material out on the porch by 7 a.m. You don't have to be home. So it's 3 weeks. There's some exceptions, though. Mom passed away. We got to get everything out of the house. We have some flexibility. It's not hard and fast, but 3 weeks is the ideal turnaround.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a awesome program. How much does it cost?
Okay.
What's the cost?
Right now in the area, there's the proposals are between $1.15 a month to $1.25 a month per home. Okay, so right now the most anybody's paying annually is $15 a year. Okay, and that's because it includes everybody covered under a contract. That would be everybody. Okay, in a particular municipality. But there's no limit to how many times you can use it. If you need to call once a month, you can call once a month. But again, we're coming to your house for $15 annually to collect these items.
Okay, so you answered my next question. Now, how many times can I call you? Because I got a garage full.
Right. There's really no limit to this. I mean, just in summary, I mean, this is very convenient. There's 3 ways you can schedule your collection just to kind of get things started. There's no waiting for an event. There's no having to be at the right place at the right time. Just like AMVETS or Purple Heart veterans, most people understand how those programs work. We just come to your house on a specific date and collect these items. It's very simple to turn at your door on. All we really need from the municipality is an address list of who's included in the program. So if you have, your residential, refuse listing, that's really all at your door needs, so that they can verify when the resident calls that they in fact live in that particular municipality. Most materials are recycled, and then again, the municipality gets 2 forms of feedback. Reports detailing what was picked up on a monthly or quarterly basis, if that you want, and then the survey cards. Okay.
Thank you.
So with
Excuse me,
that,
Mr. Morley, question.
yes.
What disturbs me about this program, and this may sound far-fetched to some folks, but it's a fact, the syringes that you collect and you're putting them in a plastic bag on the front porch, drug addicts will watch that, and they take syringes because they need them. How do you get around the government with that?
The program, well, we asked residents with any medical sharps to put it in a rigid container.
Exactly, but
Okay.
they still can be broken into.
It can, you are correct. Paul,
Well, I think, and that's a good question. And it hasn't been a problem, but I think it surely could be. We ask when you do call if you have syringes, we ask you to put it in a sealed rigid container. And then it has to be inside the kit. In the not that it wouldn't be hard, but this is a 39-gallon 6 mil bag, and it has a zip tie on it. So you'd almost have, our driver actually goes and has to cut it to open it up. So you're right, it could happen, but typically it would be like in a Folgers can or whatever. You'd almost have to know they're out there, I guess, for that to happen. But it could happen.
Well, most people that have medical issues for diabetics, they have regular containers.
They have
They trade
usually
them
the red-
in, and they take them back, and they trade them in for another container.
Right.
So I'm a little bit disturbed about the syringes, because people can get stuck, they might be in another bag, put them in the bag. You don't know what's going on out there. And we do have a drug problem here.
Yeah. And again, that's one of the.
Anywhere, actually.
That's
We
on
put a
the,
problem
that's
anywhere.
on the, the so-called appetite. If that was a real issue and you made a decision, you didn't want that to be part of the collection program, we could do that. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it hasn't been a problem, but it certainly could be. I understand certainly where you're coming from.
Another question is so everyone doesn't have to sign up for this, is what you're saying? Just certain people? It's not going to be a cost-effective or a cost citywide? Or is it if we were to go with this, every citizen would have to pay the extra $15 a year, whether they want it or not?
Correct. It's
I'm
pretty
good,
much
thank
all
you.
that.
Question? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
At this time, you also have Council Memo 505, which is an agreement with the county that you'll be considering tomorrow night, and I'm going to ask Meg to review that with you at this point.
Mayor and Council, I am presenting you tonight with options. And one of the options is the At Your Door program, as you just heard from Waste Management, which is for electronic recycling and for household hazardous waste at your door. The second option that I'm presenting you is strictly electronics waste. It doesn't have anything to do with household hazardous waste. They do have a household hazardous waste collection, Will County does, and it is a permanent facility that is located in Naperville, which Marta can address here in a moment. Marta Keene with the Will County Land Use Department is here for any questions, but I'll briefly go over the program that is being voted on tomorrow night. The program that we've been working on with Will County, they already have 4 established facilities, Lockport, Peatone, New Lenox, and Romeoville. This will bring electronic recycling here to the city of Joliet. It will be open to all Joliet residents as well as anyone from Will County that would like to do it also. It would begin on October 25th. That is a Tuesday. And it would be from 5 to 7 p.m. And it will take place in the Will County parking lot that's located at the corner of Marion and Ottawa Street across from the county jail. It'll take place every second and fourth Tuesday. So we'll be starting on the fourth Tuesday of the month, which would be October 25th, and it would be every second and fourth Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m., which we feel allows for people to get home, you're done with work, put everything in the car, head down, maybe stop at a restaurant, have a bite to eat, go to a Slammers game, go to the Rialto, whatever they can do. Anyway, the way that people will be allowed to do that is they will have to show ID. And let's say I live in Kendall County, and what am I supposed to do? They will have a list of all of the cities that are in Will County. So they're not going to look up your particular address. If you are in Kendall County and it's one of the cities that is in Will County, you will still be allowed to donate. So if you are in Plainfield, if you have a Plainfield mailing address, which some people do, you would still be allowed to donate because you are a Will County resident according to the cities that are in Will County that are on the list for the people that are taking care of the collection. Again, you will need to show an ID, and they will allow you to drop off 2 television sets and then unlimited amounts of electronics. The council memo contains a copy of the intergovernmental agreement, as well as at the very end the exhibit, which has a list of all of the different electronics that are allowed to be dropped off, from blenders and toasters to copy machines, fax machines, and again, the limit though would be 2 television sets. At this time, the other thing is, it's $10,000. That's what we are going to be giving Will County at the beginning. This was budgeted for in the 2016 budget under a program that we did last year, which was Recycle Palooza with the county. We did not do that this year. Therefore, we still have those funds available, and then we would budget for it next year. Next year, it'll be a little bit more because it'll be a full year's program. It'll be $12,600. It's about $525 at every collection event. Whatever money we don't use will come back to us. It doesn't just go away, and the city also will be providing some of the signage for the event also. And Marta Keene will be there at the first event in case there are any questions and to help people, guide people along. But then after that, I will probably be going there to help get everything open and make sure people are going where they're supposed to. Are there any questions for Marta at all?
Thanks, Meg.
Thank you. Mayor?
Okay.
Also, hand these out to you guys. These are brochures for all of it covers what's in the electronic recycling program, the hours and times at the other facilities.
Thank you.
And Marta's number is.
That's our general number is on there, and when you call, there is a recording. You can press a button and hear where the sites will be, so we'll be adding your site to that list. I apologize for my voice, I've cold. But just so you're aware, our contract is two contracts, actually, that are the founding contracts of this. One is incorporating the manufacturing funding that the state envisioned when they passed this law, and is what actually supported our program from 2010 until earlier this year, February, when we had to close all the sites because our contractor did not get any of that manufacturing funding. Now, our current contract that does have that, it's a company called ERI. They're out of Indiana, and they're already talking to us about next year's contract, which is fabulous. So we believe we'll continue to be able to provide these programs. We were able to offer a one-day collection event as part of ShareFest in New Lenox, and we're looking forward to being able to do a couple of those. But to do those, that contract, as well as to do these recurring events, that contract won't provide services. So we have a secondary contractor. And this contractor that we're currently contracting with is here in Joliet. The company's name is A-Team. And, excuse me, they're quite professional. They will send a truck. They will send folks that are actually dressed in matching uniforms with their name and their phone number on, in case any residents would have a complaint regarding them. And so once Meg or whoever is designated to make sure that they've shown up on time, they can leave the site, and then the company will actually completely take responsibility for the next couple of hours of taking all the materials, sorting it, stacking it, putting it in their truck, taking it away. If for some reason they got a huge turnout, and it was more than the trucks that they brought could handle, they will have a 30, 40-minute window where they would swing out, unload the truck, swing back, and finish collecting it. So nothing will be left overnight on our parking lot, and that's true of all of our sites. I just want to clarify those points.
Yes.
If I understand this, if it'd be more convenient for me, if the city got into this, to use one of these other locations for a drop-off, the Joliet residents can do that?
Yes, Joliet residents are currently big fans of the Lockport site. We see them there every time we're open, and a few have gone down to the Romeoville site. But certainly, I think most of your residents would agree that a downtown location would be far more convenient.
You know, for these older TVs that are 300, 400, 500-pound TVs, you know, it's pretty difficult to get them to that location. And I know At the Door would take care of that, but there used to be a company that you call up and they come pick it up at your house, you put it out. There's nobody that does that anymore?
Yes. Under our contract for the permanent sites that we used to have, we had a company, Vintage Tech, out of Plainfield, and Vintage Tech was the one that lost all that manufacturing funding. So they had that service at first for the county, under contract to us, for everybody within all the municipalities in Will County for free. And then after a couple of years, the manufacturing funding for that dried up, and they started charging $25. Now, last year in February, they told us that they were looking and evaluating that because, of course, they didn't have the manufacturing funding to cover the cost of recycling. And over the next few months of 2016, they did slowly increase the cost. They went up to $75, and they started decreasing the service. And of course, less people were calling for the service, at $75. So they ended up mothballing that completely. In the meantime, A-Team opened over the summer of 2016. They're currently expanding their operation, actually, but they did start offering front door TV service without any manufacturing funding. So that is actually referenced in the brochure. That is $60 if you call them per television. Now they take other items usually for free, but those big heavy TVs, yes, they have to send 2 people to the door to pick those up and load those in and that's why it is. We are talking to them I'm not making any promises, but we are talking to them that if we were to get this new contract for all of 2017, that they would be able to come back with a lower front door cost, since they're our contractor, and they'd be able to send it to our manufacturing funded recycler in Indiana for free.
My other question was, I don't know if it's for Meg or for Jim or who, but say we approve this contract with the county, and then at some point in time, middle of next year, we go to At Your Door. What happens in that case?
Well, certainly, we do have an out clause in our intergovernmental agreement. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's 90 days notice. So if you knew that you were going to make that switch at some point within the 90 days that you'd like to close the program down, you'd let us know.
Okay.
You would certainly want to get a lot of publicity out about that, so we wouldn't want anybody to come to the site once it was closed. But that's the main reason for the 90-day. And then as far as it goes, any money that you allotted to spend with us, we would be returning to you.
Okay.
So, yeah, just like this year.
All right, thank you.
We have allotted, I believe, 10,000. We really don't expect to spend that in the duration we have left.
Okay,
So, yeah.
thank you.
I would just comment that it did come out of committee with a unanimous recommendation for approval, which of course you would see tomorrow. And to clarify for folks, it's two televisions. I've never owned a 500-pound television, but it's 2 televisions per car, right?
Yes.
So if you have 4 televisions and you're married, just don't make it a date night. You each take a separate car.
Yeah, that works.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Mayor, at this time, ask the Deputy Liquor Commissioner to come up and review 2 of the applications that we have on the agenda.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I've got 2 items today. The first one is Council Memo 490. A public hearing was held on August 3rd, 2016 at 9 o'clock a.m. for a requested transfer of a Class E liquor license. The applicant is No Vasquez Sanchez, doing business as Mariscos El Choil NVS Incorporated, which is located at 1030 North Hickory Street. Present at that hearing was John Sheridan, representing the Cunningham Neighborhood Watch. Sheridan was concerned about parking at the intersections of Hickory and Hutchins. The mayor's office also received a letter from Steve Serdar with the same concern. There were no outstanding monies owed to the city. The police, fire, and building department have no issues with the issuance of a license. We have contacted traffic engineer Russ Lubausch about the parking concern, and he at this time has not got back to us. We just contacted him today. He is going to let us know what he wishes to do about that. Based on these facts and facts of the hearing of the Liquor Commission, we are recommending approval of the liquor license. And the second item I have before you, Council Memo number 491-16. The public hearing was held on August 3rd, 2016 at 9:30 a.m. for a requested Class C/D license, being a new license. The applicant is Sandria Salcedo, doing business as, hope I get this right, Carniceria Rio Grande number 1, which is located at 468 North Collins. No persons appeared in opposition at the hearing. There are no outstanding monies owed to the city. The police, fire, and building department have no issues with the issuance of the license. Based on these facts and facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commission is recommending approval of this license.
Questions? Thanks.
Thank you. Just one question, not for him. Russ will probably be able to give us an answer confirming there's no parking problems by tomorrow, right?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
Next, we have citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll pass it over to the city manager.
Thank you. I want to start under the consent agenda directing your attention to item D, which is Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund disclosure requirements. This is a new law that was passed by the state legislature, signed by the governor, and it is really to make the information about employees' retirements transparent, as well as, in essence, a public notice or notification as to what the cost is to a municipality when somebody retires. They have payouts of sick time and vacation time, comp time, and so forth upon retirement. And in the past, about 5-6 years ago, they changed this other law, which was the incurred liability for those payouts would be amortized over a 20-year period. Now IMRF requires you to pay the lump sum amount when the person retires, because they're going to be collecting that retirement for the next 20+ years, potentially. So this is really public disclosure to notify council and the public what the estimated cost to the employer is. So you'll be seeing this on future agendas as well. Council Memo 493 is a statutory public hearing tomorrow night on the enlargement of the City Center Partnership area, the downtown special service area. This is, again, a statutory requirement. There's a specific process. We've included adoption of an ordinance of the proposed time extension and enlargement back on September 6th. We published the public hearing for tomorrow night, and we mailed the hearing notice to all of the affected property owners. Following that, tomorrow evening's public hearing, there's a 60-day waiting period that allows for these property owners to file objections to the establishment of the SSA. If 51% of the owners and the electors file objections, then the proposal can't move forward. If they do not, then the council may adopt that ordinance at the meeting on December 20th. And I'll review this again tomorrow evening if there are people here for the public hearing. Item 495 is a vacation of an adjacent alley at 1125 Loretta Street. This came to the city's attention when the homeowner wanted to get a building permit for a deck for improvements of an existing deck, and then we found out that the deck was actually built into a city alley that had never been vacated. So the proposal is to vacate that alley. Based on the appraisal, the homeowner would purchase it from the city for $1,450.
Quick question.
Mayor, So I was reading, there's an existing deck there now.
Yes.
So how old is it? Because no one's objecting to tearing down, but if he needs repair, it obviously is not safe.
Well, even though there are still, he built it on right-of-way for other utilities, so he can't improve the deck, even if, but he still wants the property. So there are adjacent homeowners on the other half of the alley that want the other half as well in the future that you'll see on the agenda. But even though he's going to purchase the property, he can't make those improvements to the deck.
So he still needs the right-of-way for public utilities? Is that what you're saying? Even though
He
he's
still has to allow it,
purchasing
even
it,
as a
he still has to keep
homeowner.
it vacant?
Right, yeah.
But he doesn't have to tear the existing structure down now? right?
That I don't know. Kendall, do you know the answer to that?
Correct. He would not be required to tear the existing structure down. There are utilities in that easement, so there will be an in that alley, so there is an easement that he will have to honor. If there's work that needs to be done in that alley, and the deck would need to be removed at that point. But if there's no work required there, the deck can stay. In the future, again, if there's work that needs to be done, the deck can be removed. There are property owners to the west that have also approached the city to vacate their portion of the alley. And I think the goal is to help secure their backyards. There's a bar that they back up to, and there's been some issues with the bar.
I understand that, but my question is, he wants to repair the existing deck.
Yes.
So if it needs repair, it needs to come down then. Isn't that safe? Isn't that
Well,
correct?
I don't know if it's a safety issue. I think it was more aesthetics that he wanted to improve. He did not install the deck. He bought the property with that deck in place.
Okay.
And just wanted to make some improvements, and that's when we discovered the encroachment in the alley.
So he can keep the deck as long as it's there, but he can't even paint it or do anything to it? Is that
Well,
what you're
he
saying?
can paint it, but
Okay.
there can't be any structural repairs.
And he's okay with that?
Well, there's no other choice.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You know, I did see that there was one property owner who owns a house, a lot with a house on it adjacent to this, as well as a vacant lot, and had concerns, should he have future development of his relatively small but possible development for his current one, he wouldn't have access for a garage to be built and so forth. I saw that at the meeting. Was that addressed?
Again, I'll have to defer to Kendall since he probably attended the meeting.
I'm sorry, Councilman, what was the?
You had the one gentleman who owns 2 lots adjacent to that. One has a structure, a house on it. The other one's vacant, currently undeveloped, unimproved. And he expressed some concerns that should he decide to improve the lot, even though it's a small lot, it could be a small cottage type, ranch, that he was concerned about access through the alley for that lot. Was that concern addressed?
No, it was not. Again, I mean, the access, it's an unimproved alley, as it is. It's a virgin alley. There's grass there, never improved by the city. The easement for the utilities is what's driving everything, so there can't be any improvements done in that alley area.
Any other questions? Thank you. Council Memo 496 is a amendment to an annexation agreement for MJW Farms and platting of a subdivision. Basically, what you have here is a 144-acre farm, and they're splitting off the house and the stables from the rest of the property because they've got a purchaser for that 5-acre parcel, and then they're splitting the rest of it in lots 2 through 4 will be much larger, and there's no proposed development at this time on the other acre. The owner's here if you have any questions. Thank you. Item Council Memo 497 is a feasibility study with a report regarding the tax increment financing redevelopment area around St. Joe Medical Center area. As you know, we've been talking about this and we've had feasibility analysis. We had people here asking whether or not the area could be enlarged. We talked to the hospital about bridging, using the hospital property to bridge that in order to include those areas. And so we want to move forward by adopting this ordinance, which is a statutory requirement in order to set up the TIF. And it also requires us to do the follow-up mailing via certified mail to all the taxing jurisdictions that would be affected by this TIF designation. Item 498, we have 3 properties that are we want you to consider for nuisance. And then item 499 is the Estes trucking terminal. This was tabled quite a while ago and has come back to you. All of the items have been worked out to the agreement of the city and the parties. There were only minor changes in the agreement. These darn attorneys, you know. Item 501. The city has $225,000 designated from our CDBG funds and HUD to allow for improvements to neighborhood not-for-profit centers throughout the city. We've had discussions with the Catholic Charities Daybreak Center, Harvey Brooks Center, Spanish Community Center, Boys and Girls Club. Each one of them had to submit specific applications leading to the funding, and at this point it's recommended that Catholic Charities Daybreak Center be provided $51,000 for 2 air conditioning heating units in the dining room, 1 air conditioning in the men's dorm, 1 ventilation system that is heat and air for offices. So, item 502 is the intergovernmental agreement with the state of Illinois on the Hobalt Bridge roadway improvement project. As you know, you approved the memorandum of understanding, which was the concept, and this is the actual agreement, which in essence the state will provide us with $21 million for the engineering and construction of a divergent diamond underneath I-80 at Hobalt Road, and then improvements to Hobalt all the way to 6, where the construction of the bridge will begin. Then, under awards of contracts, I just want to point out to you that item 506, we gave you a supplement to the agenda showing that in 2017 that 5% represents a savings of $63,000. Otherwise, the award of contracts, bids and contracts, any amendments, change orders, and payments will be reviewed by committee and recommended tomorrow night. That's all I have.
Next, we have public comments. Seeing none. Any other comments that you have this evening? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Hey, Jim? It's 2 in a row.
You said I'm